Film Club on location. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We are here. We're doing another Film Club pick this week. If you've never been here before, welcome. We watch a movie every week, and you can find us at Filmstruck Film Club and keep up, and you can watch these movies with us. You could even hit me up a little bit and let me know what you thought about the movie. But I'm your friend, Carson Higgins. This is your other friend, Groot. And we be doing this, man. We're always watching movies. And this week, we watched another good one. This is a really good freaking movie, you guys. If you keep up with us, last week we watched Duel by Steven Spielberg. It was his directorial debut. And so in sort of sticking with this directorial debut shenanigans, I thought it'd be fun to explore the Coen brothers' very first film, Blood Simple. So, in 1984, Blood Simple comes out. It's a critical darling. Does great at like the Toronto Film Festival, I think, and another film festival. Gets some great write-ups, and then it starts killing it in art house cinemas. And then, you know, the Coen brothers now have quite a storied career. But I had really wanted to watch this film because I'm a huge fan of the Coen brothers, and I'd never seen this one. Always heard it was good. It's on the Criterion Collection, you know, so I was like, we got to check this movie out someday. And I was struck by this fun feeling where I was like, these guys are some of the best writers in movie history and certainly in modern movies. And since I didn't know what happened, I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to read the screenplay. So I rented the screenplay from the library, which, hey, shout out to public libraries. They will always help you. And if you have a library card, you can get on Canopy, which is like the best streaming service because it's free. Anyway, yes, I rented the screenplay. Is that even what you say about library books? You rent them? I don't know. But I was like, great, I'm going to read the screenplay first because I want to see what these guys came up with as their very first thing. And then I'll watch the movie, which is not usually how I do this, but I almost want to like do that exclusively now. If it's a movie I haven't seen before, I kind of want to read the screenplay so I can see for myself in my mind's eye what I think it would look like so that when I watch the film, I can go, oh, that's why they are who they are and, and I'm who I am. But so... I read the screenplay and I was like, this is a killer story because, pun intended. I found myself, you know, it took me longer than it should have. I read a little bit and then I'd put it down and then I read a little bit and put it down. But every time I put it down, I would kind of find myself thinking about it and wanting to know what happened to the characters. And I was like, that is such a good sign for any screenplay. And so it was just like a very cool experience of doing it this way, of reading the script, watching the film, and then there's just a tremendous amount of bonus features. If you watch the film on the Criterion channel, they have like the Criterion edition. So if you have the disc, you'd have all these bonus features, but on Criterion channel, they're all there for you. So I was able to listen to the Coen brothers talk about making of this movie. It's just stupendous. But yeah, man, Blood Simple, like, forgive me, a lot of this stuff has probably been said before, but the thing that really struck me was I was like, oh, this, like, really feels like a horror film, like a slasher movie, and then it almost was like, that's how they sold it, it was that period of the early 80s, you know, like, there were a lot of these movies, apparently, low-budget, sort of slashery horror movies, and so they kind of pitched it as such. However, it turned a little bit more neo-noir, and as we have come to know the Coen brothers, you can kind of retroactively be like, oh, it's very them. But it's so interesting to see filmmakers, writers be themselves so fully during their very first film. And so it was nice because watching Spielberg's Duel last week and watching this week, they just went together so well. Frances McDormand is a young 24-year-old actress. She has never done anything before, and then she books this movie. Really fun fact, she apparently was roommates with Holly Hunter in the Bronx. Holly Hunter was who the Coen brothers wanted to give this role to. She couldn't do it. She was like, yo, my roommate, bada boom, bada bang. Frances McDormand's in the movie, crushes it, and also, you know, falls in love with her future husband, and now her and Joel Coen have been living together, married, in love, making movies. Yeah, it's a great relationship. But to see her so young and so, she's just so amazing, like right out the gate, and to watch her talk about making the movie, It was like a little bit of torture for her, apparently. Just she talked about like having to be hysterical for long periods of time, and how she would try to maintain that by like hiding under the table in between camera setups, and like keeping this energy up. And she talks about realizing like I realized I don't have to do it that way anymore. But it was so fun to have young filmmakers and young actors not really know what they're doing. Even the cinematographer Barry Sonnenfeld, who goes on to be a great director in his own right. Shout out Men in Black. Barry Sonnenfeld, he's never been on a feature film set. The Coen brothers never been on a feature film set. So it's like, it's just great. I know I've been talking for 5 minutes. Haven't really talked about the movie a whole lot. Just my appreciation of the fact that it exists. But yeah, man, this movie, like I couldn't get enough of it. Like I loved reading it, but I really got a kick out of watching it because just the way they use the camera, the way they use light. I mean, obviously there's some great imagery from it of like what's his name? The bad husband guy. It doesn't matter. When he's like crawling away and it's just lit by the headlights, just a stunning shot. And then there's amazing shots where they're like in a dark apartment and there's bullets getting shot through the wall. And then there's like just these beams of light coming in through the holes in the wall. And just very cool use of light in this movie. And really just immediately you notice it where it's like, it's all serving the story. None of this is just for flash, but it's fun being like, you guys really thought this out. And by God, they did, because they storyboarded the whole fucking thing. And there's another great feature on the Criterion Channel where you can watch the storyboards and the script and see the shots and how they all match up. And yeah, one of the things that really blew my mind was like they were so on top of what was needed that while budgeting the film, because you know they made it for what really isn't very much money to make a movie, but they were so meticulous that they were able to go, you know, in this shot we're in his office and we're actually only going to see 2 walls. We're not going to see all 4 walls of this room. So while you're building the set, only build those 2 walls, and we'll save the money and the time by not building out shit that we're not going to use. And so it was like a mental post-it of like, that's kind of how much you can think ahead before you ever show up on set. And so I was just really kind of in awe of these young guys who set out to make this movie. And it took them a long time, like to get this, they get the script, and then it takes, you know, a year and a half or whatever to get people to finally say, okay, make this movie. They make the movie, and then it takes another like 9 months to edit it, and then they're like, okay, what are we gonna do? So it's like these guys really were they just believed in themselves, and by God, we all benefit from the fact that they stuck to it, made that movie because it became their calling card, and now we have all those amazing Coen Brothers movies. I don't know what your favorite Coen Brothers movie is. I'm a big fan of Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Inside Llewyn Davis is sneaking up the list for me. Big Lebowski obviously is amazing. This film to me feels like the early Fargo. Like all the ideas from this film like get graduated into Fargo. And then you could even step it up one more. If you were going to watch a trilogy, I'd do Blood Simple, Fargo, and Burn After Reading. Mind you, all 3 have Frances McDormand, so you're good there. But it's just all 3 of these movies have kind of dumb people getting into trouble, and because they're kind of dumb and they're in trouble, they don't get out of it very smartly. So, yeah, if you haven't seen Burn After Reading, go watch that movie. But definitely check out Blood Simple. I'm a huge fan. I know I just kind of like gushed about the making of the movie and stuff and didn't talk a whole lot about what it's about, but fuck it. Go watch it yourself and find out what it's about and tell me what you thought of it. I loved it. Big fan. Can't wait to watch it again. Emmett Walsh, God bless you. You were so good in this movie. Everybody that's in this movie is good. And it's just a treat to get to watch stuff like this. And Guillermo del Toro, I'll finish with this. Guillermo del Toro talks about Blood Simple, where he says, like, Citizen Kane is like a perfect debut, obviously. And it's too daunting. Like, Orson shouldn't have done it. And no one should do it again. Like, no one should attempt for their first film something like Citizen Kane. But he was like, but a real perfect debut film is Blood Simple. And I kind of agree with him. I get it. Where it's like it establishes all in one film like what the rest of their career is going to be. And we can only ever look backwards and like notice that. You can't really predict the future. But like, goddamn, if Blood Simple didn't predict the future a little bit of just going, hey, we are the Coen brothers. These are the kind of movies you can expect from us. And we're all better for it. So I'm going to shut up. This is a long one. But I love you guys. Groot loves you. And we'll have some spooky movies coming up. So look out. We're getting into our little horror section of the year. So hope you don't get scared easily because we'll be watching some cool stuff. But yeah, shout outs to everybody that watches these. And I'll see you soon.